So another topic I wanted to dive into, I've noticed that there's been a lot of new updates and features within the campaign manager. One of them that I've noticed is that you can now get these sponsored ASINs. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, Rolando?
Yeah, so basically it's sponsored ads, but as you're going through your selection, you'll notice that there's just now a new option. Whereas when you're doing a manual campaign, because manual campaigns before were only keyword targeting, right? You could only target specific keywords that you put in through a manual campaign. Well, now what's being done is that you can actually drop an ASIN, and that's typically going to be your competitor, right? You're going to put one of your competitors so that your ad appears, so that ad is served to them when they go to that listing.
So any search page that your competitor appears on?
It will be more on like their product page, their product listing.
On the product page, okay. Yeah.
So they're given choices, right? Like of your product or theirs, and they might do a little digging and go a little further, right? And so that's the beauty of it, and I think that with the proper type of optimization, because I don't think this is something that you do from day one. I don't think that you just go right into product targeting. When you on day one, what you do is what we recommend is you always start with your auto campaign and your broad match campaigns. Those are the two campaigns you start, and then you start drilling down into your phrase match campaigns and your exact match campaigns.
Right.
And then and that's where you also throw in a little mix of product targeting campaigns.
Okay. And so I guess what everyone wants to know is like, how effective are these? And I know that a couple of you guys have had experiences with these. So maybe hand over to you, Joel.
To his point, it depends where you are in your Amazon selling journey. If you have hundreds or thousands of reviews and you have very specific competitors that it's always either them or you, then having campaigns like this are like game changing now. Or like where I've kind of found it to be super successful is if you have a product that is has been doing very well for a long time, and your product is clearly better, has more value, and is maybe a lower price, then when someone's going after and this product that Amazon's clearly ranking at the very top, and they've probably been selling on Amazon forever, they have thousands of reviews, and they're making a majority of the money from that keyword term, you now have a chance to kind of show the customers searching for that product, hey, I actually have the same product, but it has all this additional value. It's cheaper in price. I have a lifetime warranty. It's all these additional things where you can actually one-up people that have that top spot.
And so, Rolando, how have you found them in comparison to other ads? Because I know you've been doing it with our new jungle sliders.
Yeah, no, they've been kicking butt.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Bottom line. But always be testing.
Yeah.
So you got to test everything, and you run it for a week. You see how it does. If it's doing well for you, then you throw a little more money to it, or you do whatever you got to do. Right. If it's not working out for you, you just kill it.
It's not just testing PPC ads. It's testing everything.
Yeah.
Email marketing. Chat box, Instagram ads, Facebook ads,
changes to your product, tweaks to your product,
everything. Exactly.
Really big. Reading reviews of your product and others.
Back-end search terms, listing optimization, like it's
constant.
everything.
Yeah.
Like anytime I'm ever launching a new product, I literally have this massive marketing list in Excel of all this different stuff that I'm going to try, and I'm going to pick the stuff that starts to stick, and I just put fuel on it. Yeah. And those things that might not work when you are only making a couple sales a day might drastically be work when you're making thousands of sales a day. Because the second you get satisfied, someone that's better and smarter and that's testing more is going to catch up to you, and you're going to be wiped out of your spot.
Yeah, because I guess we can see with Amazon, lots of things are changing. There are all these new platforms that are allowing you to do new forms of marketing. So like you said, you always have to be testing and trying new things. I guess that's really just kind of the nature of business.
Now something that Carly, she's an expert at listing optimization.
I don't know about that.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think
I don't
that's
know about listing optimization, but product optimization, I would say, like not just reading reviews at the beginning when you're looking for a product and looking how to differentiate. That's really important. But then continuing to read your competitors' reviews and improve on your own product from those or your own reviews. I recently launched a product and it was just something that was ugly that I made pretty and offered in other colors. And I didn't know how that was going to go. And it went really well. My customers started saying, like, I love this, but I wish it came in red. And red was something I was already thinking about. So that just sort of like validated the idea for me that, okay, next time I'm going to add red to the assortment. So yeah, just getting your customers' feedback. Another thing I found in the comments was somebody said that they found this product because somebody put it in a Facebook group specific to like this type of lifestyle, I guess. So that's another thing. Like if you're selling, that's an easy way to get into Facebook, right? From your personal Facebook page, you can join these groups. So say you're selling something like a wristband for carpal tunnel syndrome or something, you know? There are groups specific for people talking about, I have carpal tunnel and I have carpal tunnel. And you just say, this really worked for me. And you just throw it in there as sort of like you're part of that group. And then people will buy your product.
Yeah, that's really great. Well, firstly, I like the idea of like just going into groups using your personal account, because I think a lot of people can get overwhelmed with like, okay, I got to set up a Facebook page, which means I need a logo and a brand, and I need to learn Facebook ads and all of this. So that's like one easy way to kind of get some extra exposure and so forth. Does anyone use any particular tools to do that? There was a tool that I used to use that basically, I think you put in an ASIN and then it would allow you to essentially like filter by 1, 2, 3 stars, whatever the star rating is, and you could put in a keyword.
You can do that on Amazon. Okay. You can actually filter by like the stars and you can search different keywords on there as well. So you can find different, unless they've changed it, I've been able to search.
I think you can do that actually
on Amazon. So
yeah. What I've also heard of people doing is like downloading all of the reviews of other products and like in a category and then trying to make correlations between like what words are most often, show up. And then like try to figure out like what's the demand for this type of thing because this word shows up.
You'll get the feedback from all the buyers. Based on that, you can go to the product manufacturer and make some changes.
Yeah. One thing that's obviously always a bummer is like getting negative reviews or feedback on your listings. And I wanted to see if anyone had any strategies to combat this. Rolando, I know that you've had to deal with this recently. Do you want to speak to it?
Yeah, as many people know, I also help out with the $1 Million Case Study, and we recently launched the Jungle Slider. And right out the gate, we got a negative review, a 1-star review. And it really hurts when you get that out at launch as your first one, because if you're appearing there and you're doing PPC, then obviously like all they see is just that 1-star rating.
Average star rating.
Yeah, exactly.
Plummets.
So we were able to turn it around, and I think it was a combination of things. It was definitely the fact that JumpSend helped. We were able to get reviews from through JumpSend through our giveaway, and. But an important key thing here is not to ask for reviews. just allow that to happen organically. You could offer a discount, but do not ask for reviews in turn.
So to really summarize that, Rolando, you found that really it just came down to getting just a high volume of sales, just trying to pump through more sales to get better reviews, and you just kind of had to grind at that for a while until you started getting enough positive reviews to counteract the negative review?
Well, there's also something that was huge for us, which I would recommend everyone to do, is Amazon's early reviewer program.
Yes.
Okay.
I second that. It's great.
Can you talk to it? Do you know?
It's great. I mean, you started on every product. Your product has to be over $15, and it has to be newly launched. I'm not sure if it can have any reviews or not, but I always started at the beginning. It can, okay, just like a few. It has to be new. And you get 5 reviews. It's $60. You get charged as soon as you get your first review, and you have a year to get the 5 reviews. So if you only get 4 in a year, they still charge you the $60 at the first review. And it will show like a little like early reviewer program thing under the review. So people do know that it is from the program, but they are honest reviews. Like I haven't always gotten 5-star reviews from it. But mostly, people will write, I don't know if Amazon has rules about, it has to be more than 3 words or something, but usually, I get a sentence or 2, which is nice. So I recommend it to everyone. You can set it up as soon as you list your item.
And at the start, really anything you can do to get any reviews. It's like really $60 is nothing to get you those first reviews. Like it can be super hard to get them. So
as well as you're also offering Amazon coupons. I think that one's very effective.
What do you think about percentage versus dollar?
Always be testing, right? You test both and see which one works. Do an A/B test, like run it for a week at $1 off coupon, run it for another week at a percentage off coupon, see which one gives you results. What I find is that you stand out, like really,
because it's a different color.
It's green.
I feel like it would stand out
a few times, just
like
because I'm not really,
because you
do
get
the one
multiple chances though. They show the
Yeah.
coupon, on the listing, and then also when you check out, sometimes it'll be in your cart and it will say this still has a coupon. Like they are really giving you every opportunity.
I know as a customer, like I get excited when I see that because I feel like it's a psychological thing. Yeah,
it's a green light, right? It says buy me. It's like literally stands out.
I'm gonna get that one instead of this one that's the same price after the coupon, but I'm gonna get the one with the coupon because you feel like you're really
This didn't happen in my Amazon business, but I had purchased like one of those wireless charging pads, and I'd left a 1-star review because after like using it for 2 weeks, it completely stopped working. And then I had them reach out to me probably about like 2 weeks later, and I don't know how they got my email. And they're like, hey, we actually have a brand new version of this product. We solved all of the problems before, and we'd love to give you one for free. And I'm like, okay, sweet. And then it arrived in the mail, and I was happy with it. And I went right back, and I changed my review from 1 to 5. So it was kind of, they had a way to redeem themselves. And I feel like until you actually have your product in customers' hands, you don't really know what they're going to bring up. It's out to customers, and they can say whatever they want about it. So it's scary.
I was gonna ask, how do you think they got your?
I don't know. Actually, I can speak to that because I have a success story. Because you're talking, I got that 1-star review, right? There's more to the story.
Okay.
Because I downloaded my sales reports, my sales data, and opened it up in an Excel spreadsheet, and literally just did a search for the name that was listed in the comment. And sure enough, it gives me the transaction ID. I grab the transaction ID and I go into Seller Central, plug in, do a search by transaction ID. And lo and behold, I found the customer's purchase and was able to communicate through their messaging platform. And and now you have to be careful. You don't want to violate TOS. I just, I said, hey, I want to make you whole. What would, I just want to make sure that, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Let me know if there's anything I could do to help. And sure enough, they got back and they're like, well, the reality is, the product, I just don't need it right now. It's like, well, you could have messaged me instead of giving me a 1-star review, but whatever. So at the end of the day, I guess, because I think customers put yourself in the shoes of the customers. They think that that's the way to communicate to a vendor, but little do they know that there's no connection that I could just message directly from the review to them, other than maybe commenting on the.
You can comment on it, which I comment on every single one of my reviews. And they don't, like you're to your point, they have no idea that giving us a 1-star review is like
so bad for us.
ruins our lives.
Yeah, exactly. Especially from day one.
The ones that really annoy me are like a 4-star review, and they say, "Great product, awesome product," and why is it 4?
Exactly.
Never 5s.
Yeah. And sure enough, once they got back to me, I just refunded them. And I was like, oh no, I'll refund you the full balance. Because at the end of the day, but I didn't mention, go back and change your star rating. They were just very happy. They're like, wow, your customer service is amazing, and so forth. And they literally, I noticed, I went in a couple of days later and it was gone. The review, they removed the review entirely.
I think it's all, everything everyone here has said, replying to comments, replying to reviews and so forth. It really comes down to just giving people, individual personal care. Because a lot of the time we're always talking in, we want dozens of sales per day, and we're talking in these big numbers, and we want to run contests and things and get hundreds and thousands of people, and we're trying to find ways to automate everything. But particularly when you're getting like negative reviews and even just to over deliver on customer service to really get to the next level, it takes like a lot of manual labor, and that can in the form of like replying to people individually, seeing them as people and replying to that one person, because that little gesture, while it takes a lot more time, you can't necessarily automate it. Like that can make a big difference, especially like when it's someone that's left a negative review, like reaching out and saying, hey, what can I do to make this better? Or sending that one individual person either a replacement or a new product.
I think the customer service part, you never want to neglect, and you never want that automated.
It just feels good when somebody comes to you with a problem and they're really upset, and you can turn that around for them, and then they're praising you in your reviews. I've had that happen too. People reach out and say, I got this and it was broken, and I just send them a new one immediately and refund their order. Just do everything in my power, and then they write an excellent review, and not only about the product but about your customer service and your business. And that's sort of like brand building too, like they're saying like this company is great, and they're if you have other products in your product line or in your business, that's like one little way to get them to love your brand.
All right, guys, so to wrap this up, let's just go around rapid fire. Everyone, let me know, like, what's your one tip, piece of advice, thing learnt that you'd like to say to the audience? Rolando, over to you.
Really focus on PPC, like understand it, because there's a lot of changes coming through. For example, we talked about the being able to product target, right? That's new. Definitely.
And Amazon's making a lot of changes there, so.
And as well as there's a new feature which I've used, and that's for another video, another piece of content, but dynamic bidding is very powerful. And so we can definitely talk about that another time.
Great.
Right, I think for me, as I'm becoming a more mature seller in the space, I want to start putting better processes in place for my business and really targeting in on cutting cost. So a couple things I'm doing there are some synergies with shipping. So trying to ship in, full 20 or 40 foot container loads, but I don't have one single product that I can do that with yet. So getting a bunch of my suppliers together, if things ship within a couple weeks, trying to get them all together to ship in full container loads, and negotiating better payment terms for my payments with my suppliers, I think will really help.
Cool. What's yours, Dave?
Focusing on building an audience and brand building, 100%. Like I said, a lot of the challenges a lot of sellers face are easily solved if you kind of come with your own crew. Yeah. Whether you've leveraged another product that you've sold and builds off, or even done like I did and like built it up a little bit beforehand, it makes things a lot easier.
Cool. Karen?
Basically, focusing on the whole customer experience that goes from photos, the video, the listing, all geared towards what the customer wants. That's also in developing the product. And also kind of a packaging experience. I think that, especially with women, packaging is so just like exciting when you get a cool box, whereas a lot of things come in plastic bags from Amazon. And when I get one that's wrapped really cool, like I know you have some products that are really cool, like the packaging is amazing. And it's just like your birthday every time. And I think you'd be less likely to return it. So just building that whole experience for people and just constantly being aware of the terms of service, staying within the terms of service, and building an amazing experience, which I think a lot of people here already do. I know for sure Joel's got that.
Yeah, to Carrie's point, just creating an incredible experience. So if you're already selling, taking that product that's doing really awesome, reading as many reviews as possible from your customers, and reading why people are returning it, solving all those problems, and then going and making a unique product.
All right, so a lot of really great nuggets of information there. And that's going to wrap up our Seller Roundtable for today. I hope you guys have got a lot of value from this. If so, please give us a big thumbs up below and make sure to subscribe to get more videos like this in the future. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.
Take care, guys, and keep crushing it.